Just when you thought, the woke nonsense couldn't get any more insane, we have a teacher that is put in jail after refusing to use a student's preferred pronouns. And you might be thinking, this is crazy. Well, it's actually happening. This type of thing is actually happening all around the world more often than you would think, including a father who was locked up for not using his child's quote unquote preferred pronouns. And this is exactly where the United States is heading. Right now, most of the time you see this stuff, it's in the UK or in Canada because, well, I love my Canadian and UK viewers, but yeah. But this kind of stuff is creeping up here in the United States, and it's actually very, very scary. When you're talking about high school, too, we're not talking about like some college kid or something like that. It's actually totally insane. And I'm going to get into all that after a really, really quick word from this video sponsor, Private Internet Access. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Private Internet Access VPN. Look, it's 2022. Everyone should be using a VPN by now. They unlock content, they provide an immense amount of privacy, and much more. From a privacy standpoint, not using private internet access would be like forgetting to mute yourself on Zoom and then talking about your coworkers. For a unblocking content worldwide, watching Netflix without private internet access is like paying for an entire spa day, but only getting a facial. Private internet access unlocks content, it adds an extra layer of protection, it conceals your internet traffic, your true IP, yours alone. You can access your favorite content, region-locked content. There are thousands of worldwide server locations, and I've been working with private internet access so long, they have a massive discount for you, my subscribers, when you use the link in the description or in the pinned comment down below. So get protected, get access to all the content you deserve, and save huge by using my custom link in the description or pinned comment down below to get private internet access today. It's 2022. If you're not using a VPN, you're missing out on a ton of extra content that you could be watching via streaming services simply by changing your location. You're missing out on a ton of extra protection and a massive discount. So check the link in the description below and save. A high school teacher who refused to use gender-neutral pronouns for a student has been sent to prison for breaching a court order barring him from teaching or being on school property. The controversy began in May when Enoch Burke, a teacher at Wilson's Hospital High School, refused to address a student as they rather than he, as had been requested by the student and the student's parents. A disciplinary process commenced, and Burke was placed on leave with pay pending an outcome. However, despite being placed on leave, Burke continued to show up for work every day, sitting in an empty classroom, which prompted the school to seek an injunction to prevent him from even being on the property. When he refused to obey the injunction, a further order was sought by the school for his removal and arrest. Quote, "I am a teacher and I do not want to go to prison," said Burke to Judge Michael Quinn during a court appearance. "I want to be in my classroom today. That's where I was this morning when I was arrested. Transgenderism is against my Christian belief. It is contrary to the scriptures, contrary to the ethos of the Church of Ireland and of my school," Burke told the court. See, religious, and particularly Christianity, this is not an acceptable reason anymore. Now, if he had said he was Muslim, they probably wouldn't have known what to do. As reported by Ireland's RTE, Burke said that suspending the teacher was a drastic step and could only be done if there was some sort of claim of terrible misconduct, and there was no such allegation against him. He acknowledged the receipt of the injunction, but further stated that if he were to simply comply with the suspension and obey the court's order, he would have had to accept that his belief in the existence of biology and his refusal to be compelled to use preferred pronouns opened him up to a fair charge of other kind of misconduct. Burke does not believe what he's doing qualifies. Representing himself in court, he stated, "I love my school with its motto, res non verba, actions not word, but I'm here today. I said I would not call a boy a girl. My religious beliefs are not misconduct. They are not gross misconduct. They never will be. They are dear to me. I will never deny them, and I will never betray them. And I will never bow to an order that would require me to do so. It's just not possible for me to do that. This teacher's got some cojones. He went on to describe his suspension as unreasonable, unjust, unfair, and that he believes it has tarnished his good character and his good name, stating it leaves a stain on what has been for me an unblemished teaching record. He went on to tell the court that he believes around the country teachers are being forced to participate. They are being forced to use the pronoun they instead of he or she. He also quoted a lawyer for the school saying that it was with a heavy heart that the school sought his committal to prison, that they did not want to punish Burke, but him to abide by the court orders, and that was their concern. The ruling was for breach of court order and not in any way a reflection of the merits of Burke's arguments in terms of their religious beliefs. You think this is crazy? How about Canadian man jailed for calling his biologically female child a daughter? This is a 100% true story. It happened back in March. Man in Canada jailed for referring to his biological female child as daughter. Robert Hoogland, the father of a teenage girl, has been jailed in Canada for calling his biological female child his daughter and referring to her with pronouns she and her. Hoogland was found in contempt of court. Imagine that. A court ordering this insanity. At the heart of his miseries is a gender non-conforming 14-year-old female who identifies as trans and prefers the use of male pronouns. Hoogland repeatedly called the person as his daughter even after court prescribed from doing that. I want you to think about that. A father was told by the court that he could not, that what he had to call his own child. As a result, the Attorney General of British Columbia issued an arrest warrant for contempt, following which he surrendered himself to the court and he was arrested and taken to jail. How about this one? Father arrested for discussing child's gender transition in defiance of court order. Oh, this is about the same Canadian man. This is, I'm not saying, this is the new norm, but this is scary. When a father or mother has like the court interceding into their ability to raise their children and going to jail for it. And now you have a teacher, again, whose religious beliefs, this kid's dysphoria has to be respected by the teacher, but the teacher's religion can't. I suppose you might make an argument for that. But who knows if they are, who knows if their diagnosis is that? Who knows if they're just saying they want to do that? And by the way, Christianity is really the only religion that mainstream leftism has no problem trampling and no problem insulting. And there's a reason every one of these leftoids is a proud atheist, because they know better than everyone else. I don't care if you're an atheist, but just don't be a douche about it. This teacher getting sent to prison over a high school, it's insane. The fact that there's a court injunction at all in any way, shape, or form is insane. And it's death by 1,000 cuts. Look, I've always said this about pronouns and whatever. If I know you and I know what you prefer, there's no skin off my nose to just use whatever you like, okay? Where I have a problem is, and you know what? If I use the wrong ones and you get butthurt about it, that's your right too. And we can just never talk to each other again. Where I have a problem is the courts getting involved. In this particular case, between a father and in one case between a father and their child, in this case with a professor or a teacher, and compelling his speech and then taking it to the point where they're sent to prison. I don't really know how else to describe the insanity that this is, that people are just okay with this, that people think this is the new norm, and they'll say, oh, that's just one guy. Oh, there's just another person. Oh, there's just another person. Before you know it, it'll start happening here in the United States if people don't wake up to what is going on all around us. The UK and Canada, in many ways, is a glimpse into the future of leftism in the United States. And if you aren't paying attention to what's going on there, then you're going to be awfully surprised when it starts to happen here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it and you hit that red subscribe button down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.